Hello and welcome to Old Lady Plays. I'm Kate, the Old Lady, and this is Sunshine on Leith, episode 86. And we're at the start now of our 5th season. I've gone ahead and played the whole summer while you were away. You'll see that our trophy cabinet is updated to reflect our new treble with 2 leagues, 4 cups, and 2 league cups. So that's not too bad. This season, for the most part, we're just going to be showing Champions League and well, I honestly admit I'm hoping that we fall to 3rd in the Champions League and end up in the Europa League, because I have a strong feeling we could actually win the Europa League. The Champions League, that might be a little trickier, but that's what I'm hoping for anyway. So let's look at it. Whole bunch of stuff has happened, so I'm only going to play one game in this episode, which will be Hearts, to start the season. But I wanted to show you a bunch of stuff first. Let me first check here and see whether... No, that's not going to be far enough back. Okay. Once again, I've gone with the smallest possible pitch. At least 100 meters long and 64 meters wide. That's what we've done for the last several seasons. I don't know why, but it works. Let's see what else we've had. Here's our transfer window. 2 in, 6 out. Net spend, we gained 7 million, near enough. First things first, let's look at our finances. Because when we started the game, as you can see, we were at a very low ebb, and it took a while for us to get going. And then we had the Europa League here, and then we had the Champions League, or the Europa League again here, but a good run. And then we had the Champions League, the Champions League we had last year. So this was also Europa League. But with the Champions League, we ended up at a balance of £46 million. And they gave me initially a $28.9 million budget, or bound budget, for transfers. It went up because we sold a couple of players, not by choice. Our wage budget is currently up to 17 million. We're only spending 14.5 and committed to 15.5, more or less. What other things happened? Sponsorship. We got great sponsorship. Our general sponsorship is now up. It's up to something like 5.1 million for the year. It's a crazy amount. Where's this? Oh, sorry, it'll be on this side. Income, sponsorship. It doesn't say. Let's see. That's what I want to see. Sponsorship. This season, 5.8 million. Last season, 3.6 million. So we've picked up 2.2 million in sponsorship this year. We've also picked up nearly 3 million in season ticket sales, as we've gotten something like 3,000 more season tickets sold than we had last season. Cotton won everything last year except for the Young Player of the Year in Scotland, which was won by Salazar, our centre back. Cotton won Writers' Player of the Year, Players' Player of the Year, he did all those things. He also won, and I'm really proud of this, the Champions League Golden Boot, scoring 3 goals more than Mauro Icardi, and being named into the team of the season because of it, the dream team for the Champions League. Also, what was frustrating, however, in the Champions League is that Cotton ended up being only 2nd in forward of the season. Kind of blew me away. Like, he had the highest rating, he had 14 goals, and he made it to the quarterfinal. Icardi made it to the semi-final, and for some reason they gave him more. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but there you go. You can see how much of this was prize money last year. Obviously a huge spike from prize money, which is awfully nice. Let's see, what else did we have? New staff. We've gotten a whole bunch of new staff. I overturned the staff quite thoroughly. Let me see if, I wonder if that covers in the transfer history. Staff. Yes. So yeah, we had a bunch go out, and we had a bunch more come in. So yeah, and you'll notice that there are some names in here you might have heard of, like this Ibrahimovic. Yes, we have Zlatan teaching our kids how to ball control. We have Neil Sullivan as a goalkeeping coach. He's excellent. 16, 15, 16 in his coach is goalkeeping coaching, as well as 15, 14, 13, or 15, 11, 13 in his Modlot and Det. So that's pretty good. Who else? Clint Dempsey, you may have heard of. Another former Spurs player, as is Neil Sullivan. And I think that's it for famous names. My idiot director of football brought in one guy before I stopped him from bringing in more guys. He brought in this scout, 9 and 8. All right? Compare him to the scouts that we signed, 16 and 18. 16 and 18. 17 and 16. So we brought in a bunch of really good ones, and he brought in a dud. So, and these guys are replacing people like Callum Thompson, who's an 8 and 9, Alan Morrison, who's 11-11. So we've significantly upgraded our staff over the summer. Now, the other part of transfer history. Let's see, free transfers. Right, Jim Turner went out. I'll worry about the other one in a moment. Any released players? Right. F.A. Ambrose has been released, and I think retired. Yes, he retired. Aiden White has been released. He just got too slow for us to play anymore on the left side. He's just not good enough to play with this team anymore. So, and Eric Galante is a young player, lots of talent. You can see pretty good numbers. He could certainly play, but we don't use wingers, so it was pretty much pointless for us to have him. He can play nominally attacking midfielder, but it's not his strongest place. He's not a great long shooter, passer, no vision, teamwork, positioning, etc., etc. So good young player, but not quite good enough for us to be all able to use. Now, people on the outs. Jim Turner, you won't have heard of. He was just a young fullback. Cammy Smith, 23-goal scorer a couple of years ago, only managed 8 last year and really just didn't ever get going. He managed 8 in 30 appearances, so yeah, it was okay. But Kenny Burchell was a bit of a surprise. Motherwell came in for him, and I kind of thought about it a little bit and then went, yeah, okay, fair enough. I have looked around for a replacement for him. I haven't found one yet. Chukwudi Agwar is one that really annoys me. He was angry all last season because he said the promise I'd made when I signed him had been broken. That promise was that we would win the league in his second season, which we did. But for some reason the game didn't recognize that we had, and his promise went unfulfilled, and because of that he lost trust in the manager. So last year, if you'll see all those games where he was listed with a poor morale as very much a standout in our team of really goods and excellence and exceptionals and superbs. That was why. Anyway, we did manage to get $8.5 million for him from Porto. Now he's worth 12.75. He was worth 9 when we sold him, so we got a pretty decent deal for somebody we had to sell. Our idiot director of football was giving out contracts last year like candy. I kept on getting these notes that said somebody had just signed a new contract and blah, blah, blah. One of those players was Rivaldo Kutsi, our captain and centre-back. But the idiot gave him a £3.9 million release clause. Now, that doesn't seem like terribly bad, except when you realize that he was valued at 9 million. So of course someone came in and took him. I was hoping to re-sign him, but he wouldn't. So, or he wanted something outrageous. He wanted like 2 million or something for the next year. Similarly, Lucas Janouth, we have lost our backup striker. He also went for a ridiculously low minimum release clause, again because of our stupid director of football, who has now been stopped from making pretty much any decisions about anything, because he's an idiot. We have loaned out Per Christian Brothwaite and sold Huselius. He never really quite worked out. He went back to, where did he go? Sweden? Yep, Sweden. For a fairly small fee. We didn't pay that much more for him, so that's fine. Porteous is out on loan at Dundee. Michael Scott's gone on loan to Rangers. He was promising, but he just never quite developed into the player that we wanted him to be. So, same with Scott Martin. A good player, but not an excellent player, and we really need the excellent players. I mean, he's got 16 acceleration, yes, but he's also got 10 pace, and that's not ideal. And his vision is dreadful compared to his great passing. So he can pass great, but he can't figure out who to pass to. Not very useful. So that's it. That's all the outs. The ins, we got one that completely forgotten about. I signed him back in January to a end of contract deal from South Africa. As you can see, he's 20 years old. He's got 20 caps for South Africa, 15 goals already. Not too bad. He can take corners. He's a great header of the ball. His weakness is in passing. Fair enough. I can see that. That's okay. He's got great determination. His composure is excellent. His dribbling, corners, heading, technique, jumping reach, strength. This kid's he's the real deal. So we're really happy to have him, and I think that he's going to be really good. We also have Kamel Al-Hajj, who came in from CSKA Moscow for nearly £10 million. And I'm pleased with that price, because look at him. He's got a 16 one-on-ones, 18 reflexes. Just wonderful. 16 strength, determination 15. He's just an excellent player, and he is going to be our number one goalkeeper. That's why Brothwaite has gone out on loan. Luckily for him, he got out on loan to Juventus, so I'm hoping that he gets some games there and has a good time. He's pretty much going to be out of contract next year, and I probably won't renew. He did the job for us when we needed him, but we've gotten better than that, and we really needed somebody more up to our speed. We're also replacing Kutsi with Maximilian Weber, who is a serviceable centre-back. You would be surprised at how hard it is to find a serviceable centre-back with, reasonable attributes for a reasonable price. Most of the ones we were being shown, they were wanting 10 million, 12 million, 20 million, which is just great and all, but I don't want to spend our entire budget on one guy. Plus, when it came time to negotiate with some of these guys, like I talked to a 27-year-old right back who was a free agent, and when we came to the contract talks, he wanted 3.7 million a year, right? That's insanity compared to our team, which has a highest wage of 1.75. He literally wanted double what our best player made. So we told him to go stuff himself, basically. A couple of guys got new contracts. George Korach got a new contract. And that's about it, actually, at the moment. So we're a little thinner than we were last year. You can see that We're actually going to start the first game with just 6 subs because we've got a little bit of an injury crisis going on. Salazar played in the Gold Cup, so he's off on holiday getting rested up. He'll be back tomorrow. Poyet is suspended from the last game of last season against Rangers. He got sent off, or he picked up his last yellow card or something. Korach has a concussion. He'll be out for another week. Callum Crane is out with a groin strain. He'll be out another week. Mark Kennedy is just about back. Slavula just had a tiny little thigh strain or something. I can't remember exactly. Tight thigh one day. He's been out for like 2 days. So no big deal there. So yeah, basically things are looking really good for us. I'm really pleased with how things have gone. Our friendly season went just dandy. As you can see, straight up wins, none of them by less than 2 goals. So yeah, and they're a mixed bag. Livingston obviously is a lower league team for us. Notts Forest is in the championship, I believe. Doesn't really say, but we managed to crush them anyway. Lanús is a fairly good Argentinian team. Sparta Rotterdam is in the Eredivisie. Aston Villa is in the championship. Benfica, of course, in the Champions League, and RB Salzburg also in the Champions League, and we beat the lot of them. So Easter Road is still a fortress, and we're still in great shape. Despite having several players come in and several players go out, we still have a great match cohesion, the dressing room atmosphere, the managerial support. As you know by now, if you've been watching the series for any length of time, dynamics are my particular specialty. It's what I focus on rather than training. With training, I get a bunch of good coaches, which I have, including myself. I've turned out to be quite a good coach. And once I gotten all my badges and everything, once we've got all the sort of good coaches in all the places, then we have, then I just leave them to it. I don't actually fiddle around with it or mess with it in any way. So I'm really happy with the way things have gone. Let me see. Anything else that's really important here? The Premiership, the Scottish Premiership, is up to 8th in the leagues of Europe. So I'm kind of pleased about that. Let me just see here. Can I see this? Rankings, qualification places. No. Coefficients. There we are. Now, we have made it up to 27th. We're on the first screen of the coefficient screen now. We jumped up from 46th to 27th in one season. We are also now the most reputable team in Scotland, ahead of Celtic. The Scottish Premiership, as I said, is up to 8th, so we're just behind the Eredivisie and ahead of Russia, Ukraine, Belgium, Turkey, lots of them. So we're doing all right there. I'm pretty pleased with that. We've got the Dutch and Portuguese leagues just ahead of us. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. Who else? So you saw that Agor was out, Kutsi is out, Chenalth is out, Al-Hajj is in, Slawala is in, and everything else. Yes, I've shown you everything. Now, how long have I been waffling? Good God, 18 minutes. Well, we're going to have a quick game. Because we do. Alright, so the tactics. Let's have a quick look at the... Whoa, what the hell? How did McGinn end up in the defense? That's not quite right. Oh, right, because we've got injuries and stuff. Salazar is out at holiday, and Weber hasn't gotten in yet because of his work permit, so we're short a defender. I'm wondering if I'm going to let Gregor Stanton have a start. He's 17, he's our young prospect. He's going to be a great one, I think, but it's going to be a while before he is, but I don't think I want to have John McGinn starting in the back. So it looks like Gregor's going to get his baptism of fire against Hearts. Alright, so let's have a quick one. Alhaj, Brown, Keck, Stanton, Archer, Taryn, Melendo, Toyama, McGeer, Liveston in the attacking midfield spot, and Adrian Cotton. Liveston is surprisingly quite good in this attacking midfield spot. If it was AP, he'd be green circle, but that's not how we play. We like the shadow striker, and I think he can do well with that. So let's see how we get on, shall we? This Hearts, and we're away. 6 substitutes from a possible 7. Why is Broadfade number 1? That's not right. Oh, poop. Alright, well, we'll make him 22 for now. How come Broadfade has the 1 when he's not even with the team? Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, dressing room. Prove a point today. I think we can do that. Oh, we got a few. Alright, let's make sure. I thought that might be the case. We'll go back to key highlights because we're already running long on this episode. And let's do the thing with the thing. David Brown is now the captain, by the way. Diego Poyet stays as the vice captain. It would have been nice to have him for this one. He's just being rested. Any team would miss a player of his caliber. I'm sure he's terrific. So let's get on with this. Cotton scores. What a beauty. And we're off. Back to Tarn. Sets it up nicely for Cotton. One time. Top corner. Let's put this back to Hearts formation. Good clearance by Brown. That looked like a pretty good save. Got down well and knocked it wide. I particularly wanted Alhaj because not only is he a terrific goalkeeper, but he does have Champions League experience with CSKA Moscow. So it's given that, we're going into a Champions League campaign and what happened to us with Man United last year, I figured a couple of upgrades wouldn't be a terrible thing. Melendo, Cotton, no, just wide. Oh, Brownie, Cotton, yes! Looks like Cotton's off to his old ways. And I think he's going to get more league starts this year. Well, we'll see how Slawula does, but I think that Cotton will be getting more league starts this year, as well as his, Champions League starts, because he only got 24 league starts last year, and despite that got 24 goals and won the league Golden Boot as well. So, although I don't know if they actually call it the Golden Boot in the league, but you know what I mean. Oops, that didn't quite go well. Oh, that's not good. Good save. So here goes the first half with the mighty Europe conquering, well, Scotland conquering anyway, Hibernian. Don't get complacent. Thank you. Don't be stressed. You were fantastic. Alright, at least he's not stressed. Alright, let's have a fresh body here for in Gomes. Yes. And I'm not going to bring on Slawilla because he is lightly injured. I brought him out just as a sort of, what do you call it? As a last resort sort of thing, but I don't think we're going to need him today. There we go. Change over some of the midfield, give ourselves some fresh legs, see if we can pot another one just to put this one right in the bag. But I don't think we need it. I think the 2-0 is going to hold up. Taryn does like to have a long shot. He's not very good at it, but he does like to. And to be fair, he has scored a few. He's scored a few scorchers. So, yeah. Cotton's away. Nobody with him, nobody with him, nobody with him. Oh my goodness, what a goal! That's a hat trick and a half. How was that done? And Stanton, the 17-year-old defensive center back, with the gorgeous long ball. Cotton beats his man first, then another one, then the goalie, and just rolls it into the far side of the net. My goodness. Oh, he's so good. Why he doesn't get an England call-up, I will not understand. Granted, he's not going to be the frontline guy, but surely they could find a spot for him on the bench. The man is the Golden Boot winner from the Champions League. He can score on the big stage. Melindo. Oh, no, that's it. All right. 3-0. I think we'll take that. A good win, boys. Well done. Excellent. All right, there we go. A quick Stanton makes his professional debut. He played well. Got an assist. Did a good job. He's angry at being... Oh, he wants to apologize to the fans of Hearts. Whoops. It's nice to win these games. We'll take the confidence in this. It's a great achievement. They know the importance of the fixture. I thought he was great. Hat trick was tremendous. Classy Cotton on form. You were superb in front of goal. Thank you very much. Stanton praises manager. Wow, wow, wow. Well done. I'm really pleasantly surprised by how well Stanton did there. 7.9. Nice job. Nice job. That'll do very nicely. A little worrisome that Dylan McGeoch has slowed down some. Yeah, that's a little bit worrisome. He might not get as many games this year as I like to give him, but, you know, we have to recognize that he's getting on a bit. Taryn has developed into quite a nice young player. Decent numbers. I'm quite happy with him. Alright, that's enough waffling. We'll be back with the Champions League group stage, the first two games, as soon as they are posted. I don't know what they are or what group we're going to get or anything like that, so we'll find out soon. And when I do, it'll be a nice surprise for you next episode as we find out who we face in the Champions League group stage. Until then, and now that I've waffled on for half an hour, enough time, let's say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time, especially if you've gotten this far. Maybe drop a like. I think that our transfer business, definitely worth a like. Having all kinds of money is worth a like. Cotton is worth a like. You name it, I think it was worth a like. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you have a great day. Take care.